Learned so much more from studying abroad than you could ever learn on campus. I mean, in one day, meeting with presidents of companies and CEOs, I learned more than I could have in an entire semester.
The most interesting thing was just being able to see the city and just visiting the companies was a really great experience, and just to be able to spend it with all these people, it was just great.
I loved this trip. It was so fun getting to know all of the 18 of us so close. We're like a little mini family now. And I would say the most interesting thing about Sweden is the people, the atmosphere, and just the little things like everybody has candles, like 10 to 20 candles in their homes and stuff. It's just little things that were really different but made it so memorable.
I'm a biology and chemistry major, and even though it's completely opposite of business, it was still really good to take this trip because you never know, I could get into pharmaceutical sales. I visited ALK, which was, they create allergy meds, and so we learned all about pharmaceutical sales and all that stuff.
So the most interesting thing that we did in Sweden was trying the surströmming, which is a fermented herring, and it's pretty gross, to be honest, but it smelled up the entire house, and I really didn't want to try it, but they all made me try it.
Alright, the most interesting part was ASCOM, the wireless solutions, just hearing one, the presenter, who was unbelievable at presenting, two, seeing the facility as being incredibly modern, state-of-the-art, three, just examining the product and hearing about the marketing strategy itself, hearing how it works in hospitals with the emergency buttons and how it's applied to in the U.S. It's just incredibly interesting.
The most fun was that we got freedom to go to the shops, to go out to eat, and that we did get to do group dinners to be together, but we also got to do things on our own, and just the people I've met, it's been a lot of fun, both on the trip and in Sweden.
Favorite part of the trip was when we went to that restaurant, got to cook our own dinner with like some of the top chefs in Sweden, or like royalty and the Prime Minister of Eden, so that was pretty cool. I enjoyed that a lot.
Well, I am an art and German major, but I found this trip to be very interesting. One of the major aspects for German was that Swedish was actually somewhat similar to German, so I could sort of figure things out as I went. And then for art, it was also very interesting that we had a variety of businesses that we went to, including a couple that were art and design focused, and so it gave me an idea of how many options there are in the art world. Instead of just going and being a starving artist, I could go and work for a company and be able to do art, but also be contributing to a larger project. And I thought it was really interesting to see just how many options were available.
The best thing I enjoyed on this trip was probably going to see Per Norlin and his presentation and going to his home, as well as doing the curling, which was a very fun experience. But to be honest, the whole trip in general was just an amazing experience, and I don't think I would have had the experience or the opportunity to have such a great environment and a great group of people if it wasn't for JJ, and I'm glad that he was able to bring us all together and let us meet all the great companies like Stute and ABB and a bunch of other places.
I love curling. We won. My team won. Oh, I didn't think I'd like it, but it's a lot of fun. It's like 10 times.
So one of the most fun things we did on this Sweden trip is that we went to a hockey game at the Scandinavium, the Frölunda Indians. It was a pretty crazy atmosphere, and I will remember it for the rest of my life. We got these cool fan things, and we're just pounding them everywhere and making a lot of noise, and there's a lot of action, and I think everyone had a really good time. As for one of the weirdest things, when we went to Burger King, we found out that we had to pay for the bathrooms. That was not okay. So yeah, try to avoid that at all costs. But other than that, it's been a great ride and anyone else that's interested should really do this.